There's a new adventure hero in games, Croc. Join Croc as he runs, jumps, swims, climbs, pushes, stomps, and jelly jumps his way through a breathtaking 3D adventure. Help Croc through 50 amazing levels as he faces hordes of villains and obstacles. From swarming sharks and giant bees to slippery glaciers and hot lava. Croc, Legend of the Gobbos.
Wow.
Hot lava, Scott.
Yep. The room is lava. The game is also lava. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Play Retro. This is Play Retro. I am one of your rare hosts. I was getting real slurry there. I don't know why. I was getting slurry. I'm one of your hosts, and man, what a crock this show is. I mean, we're going to be talking about Croc on the show today. Good thing, because my low-poly amphibious friend needs some love now, and he's getting a proper 2025 glow-up, so time to talk about him. He still has to jump a lot and collect everything that shines, but you know what? That's okay with Croc.
Yeah, what the Croc, and I'm your other host, Baron Dante, and I'm just a little baby one-toothed crocodile with a backpack, living my best life with my little fuzzy friends, and oh my god, cute overload, just burn it with lava from the depths of Dante's loins. Just kidding. Who could be freaked out with this cozy little soundtrack that covers me like a warm blanket, filled with bees? Bees!
That ain't good. You don't want bees in there.
Yeah, you don't want bees. I hate bats and now I hate bees.
Yeah.
I didn't know I hated bees so much.
I didn't know you had a
more Croc this week.
I didn't know you had a thing with bees.
Oh my god! Like any Castlevania game,
Yeah.
I don't have it with bees, but with bats, typically like Castlevania games and stuff, they're like, "Hey, let me." Everything is going to come at you either like from the side or the top, but we're going to have some bats that are going to come down randomly at a diagonal that you won't be able to avoid. Screw you!
Yeah.
And this game has it with bees.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of bees, generally speaking, but also bats.
Right.
They can freak you out pretty good. I have a dog. You've never met her personally, but Rainer, Jim Rainer, the female dog, has a very bat-like.
Jim Rainer, the female dog.
She has a very bat-like quality to her. If you spread her arms out, she's kind of got these like skin wings. She has the face.
Nice.
She has the face of a bat. Looks like a little bat face.
Yeah.
And if I could hang her upside down, I would. That'd be rude, mean, but
that would be quite rude. But I will tell you, speaking of things that look weird, the bees in this game, I don't think they know how to draw bees. Bees have stingers on their butts. These bees have stinker noses. So just saying.
Man, you know what?
Just saying.
I didn't know
Anatomy
that.
matters.
Now that I know, anatomy does matter.
The insectophiles are pissed.
Yeah. It can happen. Hey, I got a thing to tell you about retro-wise. We're going to talk about a couple of retro things this week. I got up to, before we get talking about Croc, proper Croc. Do you remember back in 2009, Pixel Junk, the company, made a series of games called Pixel Junk Shooter 1 and 2? Do you remember this at all? Okay.
Absolutely. I love that.
It was like a downloadable thing. It was a cavernous, float around, shoot stuff, figure out like some puzzles that are usually element-based, like there's lava. How do I do that? How do we deal with that? Well, how about water? Okay, well, we'll do that, but we'll try not to kill these dudes we have to save, so you're always saving dudes.
That sounds like Croc. Holy crap.
It's just like Croc. Anyway, I didn't know this, but in 2015, they put a version of 1 and 2, Pixel Junk Shooter 1 and 2, on Steam for $15, and I missed it. Now, I would never have missed this had I been paying attention. I would have played the shit out of this if I'd have known, because I love it. And turns out, runs great on Steam Deck. It's, in fact, verified on Steam Deck. It's both 1 and 2 in one package. And you just sit there and you play this thing to your heart's content. So if any of you out there are like me, you're like cavern video games, doesn't matter what the point is. If you're in a game and it says you're in a cavern and you're in like I am, then this is the game for you. Games.
I'm like Scott. I'm down with it.
Yeah, I love
Pixel Junk Shooter.
Pixel Junk Shooter 1 and 2. Now, I know it doesn't meet the criteria of our 20 years.
It's getting there.
But it's getting there.
15.
Yeah, it's getting there. All right,
but it does have an indie kind of retro vibe, right? It's not
it's very indie. Yeah, I think the Q Entertainment, Q Games
See, it's almost Qbert, so
it's almost Qbert.
It's retro related.
They've made nothing but great games, and this particular series is just one of my all-time favorites. So if you haven't played it, I would highly recommend picking that up. It's only $15 on Steam. It was on sale when I got it for only like $7. I'm sure that sale will come around again. So maybe just go, press. What's the thing? What do you call that?
Press play.
You favored it. No, you wish listed. Is what I meant to say.
You put a wish list. Wish list. Yeah, my wish list is unwieldy.
Mine's ridiculous. I have like 800 in there. Got to change it.
Yeah,
fix it.
I got too much of a wish.
Help me though. I got 2,600 games in my library.
Yeah,
and 800 or 600 or whatever it is in my wish list. I don't know how to manage this.
I know.
What am I supposed to do, dude?
Me either. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty effed up.
I wish I could help you. You're asking the other addict how to get off.
Yeah, how are you going to get off the teat? You know?
Yeah, not going to happen.
That teat is permanently attached to my face. Brian, what'd you get up to? What'd you do for your retro life this week? Something fun, I hope?
Absolutely. So I got out the Sega Saturn. This is related to what we did with Croc this week. Croc was originally developed on the Sega Saturn, and I needed to get out my Saturn and check it out because I was wanting Scott to also get his Saturn the hell out. And I had to remind myself, what did I have here? I have Action Replay 4 megabyte plus cart, which I loaded up. What is something called Saturn? No, what's it called? Pseudo Saturn Kai. If you order these carts off, wherever you order them from, try to get the 4-in-1 cart. There, I said it. You're gonna be confused later on and go like, Brian was talking about a pseudo Saturn Kai cart, and just remember 4-in-1. That's what you want. It means you can use the memory component of it as well as boot region-free games, and you can also run burn games, so you can put your nice originals away and keep them safe.
Is it an actual action replay device though, like the brand?
No, not this one. Well, you could do it with a real action replay cart, but obviously this is not a real action replay. This is a clone of it. And most of the ones you'll see on the internet are usually like black. Mine is this beige. It's supposed to look more like the action replay. It's all bullshit. It's all out of China. And, you just need it. Or if you're really having fun, you can take a real action replay if you got one, and you can do a whole bunch of disc swapping and kill the laser. Go ahead and kill it.
Really?
Kill it dead while you're at it.
Just murder the laser by doing all the disc swapping. Yeah.
And then get that. So yeah, don't do that. But yeah, that's what I got up to this week, making sure the action replay pseudo Kai Lite was booting up just fine. I was able to burn Croc and play it. And the reason why I did is because I have a copy out in the garage, but I'm not getting in that bin. And then I ordered 2 and it didn't make it in time. But what did make it was what I'll get back to before too much longer. I got my over here. I moved my camera, didn't I? Yeah. I got these PlayStation 1 memory cards.
Oh, so
you can use corrupted exploits, corrupted data exploits for these cards. Use one for the boot, and then use the other for the saves, because when you corrupt the data on it, you can't use it as a memory card anymore.
Shit.
Doing a little soft modding this week, and I hope that's all right. But that's what I had to do this week.
It's all right with me.
That was the way.
That was all right with me. No, that's great, man. We both got busy doing dumb stuff. That's the important thing. Dumb stuff.
Yeah. And I ordered 2 more things, and we're testing them out because I would really like to get Scott's Saturn running so that me and him can play. I ordered one of these. It's called a Pound HD Link cable for the Sega Saturn. And we're going to see how that works. Right now, I'm running mine through my RetroTink and it's using S-Video. So,
you know what I want real bad? I want Bomberman for the Saturn so bad.
All right, cool.
That was the best version of Bomberman I ever played. Single player was epic. Multiplayer was insane. You could do 10 players if you had the tabs for it. And I just thought it was amazing. It has the best music. Yeah. It's the Saturn version of that game is so freaking good. It's really hard to emulate, like just on its own. So I'm in the market. We're gonna figure it out. Look at that.
I'm growing my Sega Saturn collection slowly because it's not cheap to get into the Sega Saturn. This is my wireless Sega Saturn controller, so you need about 8 of these.
8-bit do, or who's doing that?
No, this is the one I showed you. It's Retro Bit, I believe. Is it not? Yeah.
But Sega licensed they put their good grace and blessing on it, right? Didn't they? Or something like that.
I believe so. It seems official. This is a Model 2 controller. I think there was one that was released before this is kind of a little bit different.
Yeah,
and
the original
also,
was different for sure. A little bit different.
I got such a rabbit hole, and you got to, speaking of addictions, you got to talk me out of ordering the Japanese Sega Saturns that are only like between 89 and 130 and come with games and everything else. You have to ship them in from Japan. I'm not sure if there'll be any custom costs once they, hit customs, but man, that's a mighty tempting price. Working box, got a controller, comes with some games typically.
Sounds all right.
$80 and oh my gosh.
Sounds all right.
If you get the little cart, you can play, you can download you can download translations, English translations for that stuff for Japanese games never got to play.
Plus, weren't they're kind of cream or white or something? They didn't do a black version over there, did they, or did they?
Gray, and then later on more of a kid-friendly kind of, just a little bit off-white.
Yeah, that's the one I remember.
More colorful buttons.
Yeah, cream color with color buttons. And then I think there was a hot cherry red one at one point. And I don't remember who that was for or what the deal was, what the promo was for. It's definitely for me. I'd use it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I could only get the black one back in the day. And I bought mine at a Incredible Universe. Do you remember this store?
Ooh, I think I remember that.
Yeah, they were around for a hot minute. So we got one here in Salt Lake, and I remember losing my shit when it happened to me. And my friend Andrew went out there day one when they opened. Place was packed, and I walked out of there with a Saturn that day. Saturn and 2 games. I think it was Bubble Bobble or Bust a Move 2, I should say.
Right,
because we called it that here. And then what was the other game? Maybe Panzer Dragoon or something. Whatever it was, but I grabbed a Saturn and I was so happy. And that's the only thing I ever bought at that place, which might explain why Incredible Universe only lasted a few more years. They went to poop. People would go window shop there constantly because it's so much fun to be there. It was like Disneyland of electronics. But then nobody bought any. I swear people just walk in, walk out. Nobody bought stuff.
Yeah.
So it didn't last, but it's unfortunate.
Well, I'll say one last thing about the Sega Saturn. It's the only Sega system primary system that I never had, and it's always felt like I was missing something between the Genesis and the Dreamcast, and of course this is it. And going back and playing these games has a weird bit of never nostalgia. Like I never played it, but it feels very nostalgic. Like it fits right into the pieces of it fits into the hole in my nostalgia heart. Boink.
Big old square peg with a round hole in it.
Square peg of a Saturn, right into it.
That's great. Well, I like following your Saturn exploits, literally.
Yeah.
More
like I said, I'm growing my collection slowly, but it's going to take time to build up a library because the games are still 50, 60, sometimes even more than that, and the dollars. So it's kind of like buying a printer. It's the printer's no problem. It's the ink that costs you.
Oh yeah, that's how they get you.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
It's been my experience. All right. Yeah. Well, on that lovely note, it is time for us to do a certain thing. And that certain thing is discuss the game of the week.
Shall we play a game?
We shall indeed. We're going to talk about the game Croc and the game Croc 2. Croc 1 was actually called Croc, the Legend of the Gobbos.
Yeah, Legend of the Gobbos. Yep.
I called them Gobbos when I played it the first time.
You can call them Gobbos. It's not wrong. It's Gobbos. So I could see that.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, but I saw it and went Gobbos. And it's
Gobbos.
Or
Gobbos.
Gobbos. I don't remember. But this was a game that came out in the year 1997 of our Lord, and that game was basically saying, hey, 3D is the hot new thing, everybody. Here's another platformer, and it's 3D. Check it out. Now, if you'll recall, this was what? Right after or right before or at the same time as Mario 64 hit the N64 here in the States. That may have been the year before, 96 that came out.
Yeah. So Mario 64 came out first, but there's some connective tissue here because this game, so if you know anything about Argonaut Games, they worked with Nintendo during the SNES era, specifically for Star Fox. And you may remember they had a 3D chip. They were trying to, and they did actually have a 3D chip. They, got on board with Nintendo to develop and to get in there. And then we had Super Mario 64, who came out a couple years before Croc, but not before Nintendo released Argonaut Games and took some of their talent.
Release them from their contract, basically.
Release them from their contract, exactly. And there is definitely some bad blood, maybe that they felt like maybe Nintendo stole a little too much from them, because they presented a game very similar to Croc, using a little known character named Yoshi. So, you seen any connective tissues here? You should, because that's what kind of Croc feels like. It feels like you swapped out Croc for Yoshi, and it doesn't quite have a Nintendo feel, but you can kind of see it. These stories are hard to tell because there's a lot of egos in all this stuff. I mean, I love Shigeru Miyamoto. He is a legend.
He's an all-timer. But he's the biggest.
Yeah, but sometimes his history seems a little off from what it feels like fact. And the same thing here with the founder of what is his name? The founder of Argonaut Games. His name is Jez-san. I
can't find it.
But
where is it?
basically, Jason.
Jason.
So it sounds like it sounds like Jason, and that's where they came up with the Argonauts, because it was Jason. It was a play on Jason.
Yeah, Argonaut software, exactly. And they were behind that Super FX chip that they used in Star Fox.
Yeah.
So they weren't just doing games; they had a big technical hand in things. And my understanding is before Sony came along with the plan to do the Nintendo PlayStation,
right,
which was an add-on to the Super NES, before that all fell apart, these guys were poised to be like, hey, we're going to be a big part of this. We're going to make a game for that thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge, whatever. And it turns out they did. I don't know that Croc ended up being that huge. Sales-wise, it was okay. Did all right. But
it did well enough. It got a sequel eventually, and now it's got a remaster coming out this next month, just actually a couple of days on April the 2nd, I believe.
What fortuitous timing that we're talking about Croc right now.
Fortuitous timing. Now this, to me, so here's my history. I never played Super Mario 64 when he came out.
Good Lord, Brian. How can we be friends?
I did not have an N64. I was PCing it hard, and I didn't get back into the consoles until the PS1. And so my first real 3D platformer, besides stuff that I had seen on the PC, was Croc. And so I have probably a little bit rose-tinted glasses with Croc because of that. And so you're going to say a bunch of things that are probably true about Croc, and I'm going to tell you you're wrong because nostalgia.
I think Croc is a good game, and I think that this remake is going to be good because they've already talked about a bunch of quality of life improvements that have happened over the years, and there's no reason to do a remake without adding some of those. They had great success, not the same company, but they've had great success with the re-release of the Spyro the Dragon trilogy.
Yes.
So I think this is a great time for this, and I think people have a taste at this very moment. People have a taste for collect-a-thon 3D platformers, maybe more than we've had since the advent of the genre. So I think it's a perfect time. It's like, bring it out. Let's go.
I am down with it. This game originally was developed on the Sega Saturn. See, if I hadn't have been a PC butthole, Master Race, I would have gotten a Sega Saturn, and I probably would have picked up Croc. And the Croc version on the Sega Saturn, I think we can all agree that it's just not as good. The camera is too close. It suffers from all the things that early 3D platformers suffer from, mostly camera and movement.
PS1 game is not perfect either, but it held together better. I mean, the Saturn famously a 2D focused machine in an era where Sega poorly predicted what was coming and weren't ready. So they had to try to cram a lot of 3D into that thing. And you could already argue the PS1 was doing that. Just was doing that a little better. And it screwed them. So it's a real bummer.
As I learned more about the history of the Sega Saturn, it really is more than anything Sega having a bad moment of the two teams. Japan and America. Obviously, the Saturn successful in Japan because they were focusing on
very
2D fighting games, right?
So fighting games were big. Popular. They had big fighting game stuff. RPGs, 2D sort of JRPGs were still huge. Like they were actually responding to a market that wasn't here.
Right. And America and the American side was arguing that, and no one could come to terms. And as a result, they kind of got startled when Sony came along, and they released the Sega Saturn too early in the US, and it was just all kinds of stuff that they just couldn't hold the shit together, Scott.
Nope.
They just couldn't do it.
Yeah, we talked about that before. Here's a little sound from the game. Whee! It's exactly what you think it is. Just a lighthearted, fun time. Nobody's asking you to do anything. You're not killing Dracula. This isn't freaking, a Hitman game. You're a little guy running around. You got to get all them shiny gems and get the F out.
Yeah, you got to get the little. How many sides is that? 20-sided crystal die, I think. Is it looks like about 20 sides. I don't know, maybe 16. Maybe I think it's 20.
Whatever it is. He's like they all look like D&D dice that you're trying to capture.
They're delicious. That's all I know, and I love collecting every one of them. But this took some things too, like from Sonic. You had health, but you didn't faint, which is how you kind of die, unless you didn't have any crystals on you. If your crocodile backpack,
your Croc pack
had your Croc pack, if it had gems in it, then you were golden. You just lost all your gems. You had to run around and collect them before they disappeared.
Croc pocket. It should be a Croc pocket.
Croc pocket. There you go.
Yeah.
So there's your Croc pocket. Everybody wants to know what's in that backpack.
Yeah, look at that thing. Just full of gems.
Gobbos. Probably some Gobbos.
Some bullshit in there. We just watched. What did we just watch for Film Sack? Craven.
Craven.
It could be it like the backpack for the rhino. He's got rhino.
Oh
juice
yeah,
in there.
He's got his feed bag. So that's what's back there. Really, he actually is feeding off. There is a vampire, is Croc, and he's feeding off those Gobbos in his backpack.
That all sounds true. That all sounds right.
The story of this game is kind of weird anyway, because Croc kind of starts off as was it like Moses who got shipped down the river in his basket?
Yeah,
is that right?
That's part of the story. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so Croc lands at the island of Gobbos, and the little furry creatures find Croc floating in a basket. Apparently, there was some kind of basket race. I don't know. Anyway,
basket race, basket case. Who knows? Right,
basket race. So Croc's there. He grows.
Oh, you mean a really race big. Of baskets, not people racing in a basket? I think maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Basket weavers, maybe. He comes from a long line of basket weavers. Could be.
So right. So he's with the Gobbos. He starts getting too big for the Gobbos. He thinks he's a Gobbo, but he's not. He's a Croc. So eventually Dante comes along. He's a big Bowser type, right? Big giant guy. He just shows up. He's got his Dantinis or Dontinis. I'm not sure which.
Probably Dontinis, if I had to guess.
Dontinis. Yeah, they're kind of they're smaller like Gobbos, and you got to smack those guys around with your whip and tail.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just release all the Gobbos, because when Dante showed up, he locked all the Gobbos up in little cages across the very conveniently across the island.
Yep. They were all very convenient ways to jump and grab everything that got dumped. There's an example. So, he just lost all of his stuff. And if you pick him up quick, you can get him like the rings in Sonic, but you got to hurry your ass up. Yeah.
Oh, you got to hurry up. And you probably will not get all of them, because these are tank controls, which is what we're hoping they at least try to fix a lot.
Oh, the word is that's getting completely it's getting revamped. Yeah. They're not same thing. I mean, the same sort of thing happened with Spyro. Spyro had some pretty tanky controls. There was a little bit of movement there, but for the most part, it was pretty tanky like this, and they fixed that entirely. So it's not the same team, right? So I'm not necessarily know that these guys are going to do as good a job, but if that thing's any indicator of what we can expect, it should be pretty special. Should be really good.
I'm very excited. We all know the pitfalls of the PlayStation with the jittering, and so it's going to look good. If you played the PC version, because this came out for the Saturn first, and then they ported it over to the PlayStation and then to the PC. The PC still looks pretty good. None of those jittering effects going on.
Yeah.
But they're gonna update everything. You're gonna have a lot more. I'm sure it's gonna have a lot more lighting effects, and just everything's gonna look spot on. And if it's anything like you said, like that Spyro Reignited trilogy, which took a game that I already loved and just made it look sparkly.
Oh, it was a huge improvement. It's so good.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't picked that up, it's on sale all the time. Spring sale just had a big sale on it. Worth it. You'll play all three of them. I still say I think second game's probably the strongest of those. They're all good though.
Yeah. Yep.
They're great. And I have similar expectations for this, so I'm actually really stoked about it. Should be good.
Yeah. And so just keep in mind here, Croc came before Spyro and Crash Bandicoot. And we're also in another interesting time too. So much happened right in this little time frame here. We're trying to figure out if a console needs a mascot. Nintendo had proven that Mario, because Nintendo always has kind of modeled themselves after successful American businesses, and they were like, oh, what is Disney doing? They said, oh, they got Mickey Mouse. And so they said, we got a good hot property here with Mario. Let's market him.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He's mascot essentially. And
Sure.
so everybody else is scrambling going, what are we going to do? And Croc is one of those in the list of PlayStation mascots. They were throwing everything. Kratos, Crash Bandicoot. They're like, anybody is like, who's going to step up for a PlayStation? What was the one weird lawnmower man looking thing they also had that was the official one for like about 5 seconds? Talking about the big giant head. What was that thing?
I can't remember the name of that. Sony.
I've only
PS1.
seen like little clips of it, and I'm like, I need to do more research into that because that thing freaks me the F out. But it wasn't Pepsi Man. He didn't.
No, it's not Pepsi Man. But okay, so here over the years, they kind of Sony's been real flip floppy with it because they've never really been able to settle.
You don't need a mascot.
No,
you don't need a mascot.
They finally did it though. I think Astrobot's a really good mascot, and they should stick with it. That's new though. Yeah. That's relatively new in the last couple of years. This newest game last year. For a while, Lara Croft was kind of the de facto mascot. Spyro, like you said, Crash Bandicoot had all the commercials, so that felt like that's what they were locking in on. But even these like recent decades, Aloy from the Horizon Zero Dawn series, Sackboy for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Maybe even Ratchet and Clank could have taken the throne. I don't know about Nathan Drake or Kratos. So they tried with Kratos, but they've never really quite been able to do it at Sony. Microsoft or Nintendo nails it with Mario. It sticks. And they have a lot of sub Mario stuff that's just as cool and fun. And everyone loves Kirby and everybody loves all these secondary characters. But Mario is, he's your mascot. No question. Easy done. Nobody questions it. But you go over to Sony and they're like, oh, we don't know. We're going to try everything. And Microsoft's like, Master Chief. That's it. That's it.
They pushed Master Chief so hard. I felt a little bit like they were pushing a little bit too hard.
Maybe a little bit. It's still like the only thing I consider a Microsoft mascot is Master Chief.
Yeah. True story.
They got a lot of games, a lot of cool characters, but at least they have one iconic, like, Halo is that iconic. It's like, that's it.
Yeah.
Whereas Sony's got a lot of iconic characters, but they're all vying for the same position, and Sony can't really decide who to market the most, so they just don't have one.
Yeah.
I think Astrobot's the best they've had, but it took them, 30 years to get there?
Yeah.
Jeez, guys. Freaking
come on, fellers.
What are you
doing? Of course, I did feel like Sackboy. Like you had said, Sackboy felt so much. Little Big Planet, man, that felt like, to me, it's like, okay, now they got, that was a I must buy the system game for me.
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about getting a PlayStation until I was like, oh, I've got to have that.
Yeah, for a hot minute, that thing was the bomb. But then the PS3 ended, and they kind of quit making them. And then the ones they did make was different developers, and they were like more pure platformers. And it's like Sony can't, they can't stick to a thing too long. That's their thing.
But imagine a world where Croc was the official mascot, and whenever we started up the Sony, we would have like the Croc soundtrack. By the way, I think the Croc soundtrack is superb.
I think it's okay. It's a little MIDI for my taste, but that's how they all were then, so I can't really complain. But
agree to disagree. It is an absolute banger.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm going to put on those nostalgia goggles. This is one of those games that I turned on and I didn't have to even think about it. I mean, the muscle memory was still there. And that doesn't happen with a lot of games. Like when we played Rampage last week, I've had so many different versions of Rampage over the years that I knew what I had to do, but there was I didn't just look at the screen and I had to figure it out. Croc, I just walked straight in. I went straight to the path that I always traveled, and I killed it. And I played this game. This was probably the first game. This is another reason why it was awesome to me. This was the first game me and Drew really bonded over. So that's my oldest son, and we played Croc, and it was great because it was something he could watch, and I could hand him a controller, and he thought he was playing, and then eventually he was playing.
Yeah.
And it means a lot to me, and I mention it to him from time to time. It's like, hey, you remember Croc?
Yeah. Remember Croc?
He's like, yes, Yes, Father, I remember Croc.
It's like,
I'm
Dad,
hey,
shut up about Croc,
Yeah.
Dad.
it obviously meant so much more to me, but but that's okay. That's okay. And but it's that bonding thing for me. I think that was the first game me and Drew, at least I felt we bonded over.
I think it's weird that, so we're now looking, for those watching live or seeing the video version, we're looking at Croc from the Saturn, and it's definitely different than the PS1. The camera's weirdly crunchy down on your back. Like
you're much closer in the Sega Saturn. There's also a draw distance problem.
Oh yeah.
Where it won't draw as far, so everything looks like a dark inky pool off in the distance.
That console should have been called the draw distance problem, because when it came to 3D stuff, woo boy, none of them were great, but it really suffered at our time.
But you got it really did. But you got to give it to Argonaut, because this game feels open world in some ways, even though it's not. It's just, stage after stage on the islands, which you can access through the open world when you unlock one to the next.
Yeah.
And it's really in tunnels and things, but you have a skybox that makes it feel a little more open. And I never feel like it's guiding me necessarily in a path, even though there's literally paths in the game. I still feel it feels almost as open world as Mario 64, which has also got, falls back and forth between corridor site type stuff. And, a little more open areas.
Yeah, Mario 64 is maybe the best example of the era anyway, of going from outdoor large environments, open world environments, to small, cramped indoor business. It was really good at handling that. The N64 was just smartly better. Engineering wise, they just made a better game to make these kinds of games in. And both Sony and, to a much worse extent, the Saturn and other competing consoles, they were just such half steps toward 3D. Nintendo made a much broader single step toward 3D. And I feel like they also made some steps backwards by saying, well, it's only cartridges, F these discs, we're not doing that shit. Like, there was a lot of things that was weird about it. But having analog control, or at least early form of it, having these advanced, jitter-free, more larger 3D experiences compared to the other competition at the time, I think they thought that was going to propel the N64 way in the lead for that generation.
Yeah.
It didn't exactly work out that way.
It is, as much as we look and love Nintendo, and as much as we also hate Nintendo, there's reasons, because they will, make a vicious move, like,
oh hell yeah,
hire all your employees that are working for Argonaut and then dismiss the company. It's kind of like, hey, we're hiring your talent. We don't think you're the part of it that's valuable. We think these employees, which is sad, because Argonaut was bringing all the new stuff, man. They were really pushing Nintendo in this direction forcefully, and I think that might be one of the reasons why Nintendo felt like they needed to get rid of them, because I think when they first met Argonaut Games, if I remember the story correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, listener, that they presented Nintendo with hacked versions of their Game Boy games. And so, and they proved that they could do 3D stuff on a Game Boy. And eventually they secured a contract to make Star Fox, and even Star Fox 2, which we know was completely finished and never released until they released the SNES Mini.
The Mini, yeah.
And that was
that was a big deal when we got that. We were just like, oh,
yeah,
look at this.
Yeah,
I still haven't played it.
Was completed. Yeah, and they were moving forward, and they were making some tough decisions, and they imagine if, I don't know, what if this had been a Yoshi game, though? I was really curious about that. I was like, what if this had been a Yoshi game? This would probably be Legend. I think it would be Legend.
Yeah.
If it had stayed as a Yoshi game.
Yeah.
But instead, I talked to a lot of people who know Croc are, but then I just meet just as many people. It's like, never heard of it. What the hell is Croc?
Right.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's not the most well-known of these 3D platformers. That's why we're talking about it, partly because, I think it deserves a little stage.
Yeah, I think it deserves a little stage where Croc can stand in front of a giant gong and whip it with his tail and have a bird come shit on him with little sparkle sprinkles, and he'll shrink and go to the next area.
Can you name a better way to live your life? The answer is no.
I cannot. Saving Gobbos and let's see, jelly jumping and killing sheep for some reason, or no, just making them poof.
Making them poof. Yeah, let's
Making them poof.
Well, we're gonna poof those sheep. Not that doesn't sound good either.
It doesn't.
Now let's jump to Croc 2. This would be 2 years later, the 1999 release for PlayStation and Windows. Notice no Saturn version. Oh,
Yeah, no Saturn this time, friend. Sorry,
kind
this
of
is
gave up by then.
Yeah,
I think those days
sorry,
are over.
man.
Anyway, the overview is that Croc here, our titular hero, continues his adventures in search of his long-lost parents while exploring longer, more open hub worlds. Longer, I meant larger.
Yep. That too.
It's a bigger game in pretty much every way, and I actually think it looks a lot better than one. More colorful, more background stuff. Let me skip ahead around here. You can kind of see a shot of him in the world here. Here we go. There's just more stuff. There's trees and foliage and brighter colors and backgrounds pop more and that kind of stuff. It feels less like a tech demo and more like a full game.
And that's the way I actually thought of Croc 1, especially in the early goings. It feels like a tech demo. And the worlds feel a little bit sparse, and they got criticized for that, and they fixed that in the second one. I think the first time I played Croc 1 was on a demo disc, and it encouraged me to purchase the full game. And Croc 2, I never had because it has no subtitle, so I don't know what to think about it. It's just Croc 2.
Straight Croc 2. Yeah.
Yes, it's Croc 2, man. Come on.
Yeah, why if you're gonna? I understand. Like I actually have it backwards. You're supposed to name your first game Croc, and then your next game Croc 2 : then a bunch of shit. I know how this works. Jerks, dummies.
Just Croc 2. Here you go. We're going to continue the adventure, but you're right. It's got larger levels and more complex game mechanics. We in the first one, Croc was getting ready to release. And Sony started sending out the kits, I believe, for the DualShock. So you're finally going to have an analog stick. Yeah. So before then, they were just programming for the D-pad like you'd have on the Sega Saturn. And so it actually Croc 1 plays pretty good that way. And then when you get to the analog stick here, oh boy, with Croc 2, I'm always running off the edge.
Yeah, it's a little. They don't know what they're doing yet.
No,
they tried.
It's still. Yeah, it's still very. It's not quite. It's a little better than the basic tank controls you saw in the first one, but it's still tank controls essentially. I mean,
it's still not great. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It was just a hard time. Like none of this stuff was easy back then. This is all going to feel pretty good in that remake, and the remake includes 2, I believe. Right. 1 and 2 are part of that package.
I've read 2 different articles, and I heard one just talked about Croc 1, and another said Croc 1 and 2, and I'm like, oh, are they going to stagger it, or is it going to be Wesley releasing on the second? I'm not sure.
Oh.
I thought I knew, and then I went back and read, and I'm like, oh, no, I'm not sure. So I'm sure I'll know for sure on April 2nd, this next week.
Look at this cute little guy. What's his name? He doesn't have a name. This little owl-looking guy.
So we're back with the Gobbos. They look a little bit different this time. I did not care for Croc 2. I thought it was a load of Croc, and because I think it took away. I think it took away all the charm from the first one, and it overcomplicates it with these approaches to these characters who are giving you a quest. And you can even after you finish the quest, you'll accidentally walk too close to some of these turds when you're doing the overworld, and you'll like, oopsie.
Yeah.
He'll start talking to you, and you have to like click through a million times. And areas of play require you to collect crystals, which then if you bank them to your card, then you go visit the store.
This guy right here.
The
donut guy,
the giant donut cat looking guy.
Yeah,
he has a name. He has a name, Scott. And so, you have to go spend money to get like jelly jumps and increase your heart levels, and you can
change your.
It's supposed to be
increase your diabetic status, get a bad A1C, blood reading, all that kind of stuff. It's all cute candy business in there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be better, but overall, I found it just more complicated for just complicated sake. Now,
I like 2 a little bit more than 1. I think it's just because of the stuff you mentioned earlier. Like it's a little tedious in the whole. I got to talk to these people. I got to work with. Like it's less just go and more like stop here in this village and spend way too much time talking to all these shitheads. There's also a lot of backtracking in this I don't like, but I think it's a more fleshed out experience overall. Like the game's just bigger and better.
I think the level design. I don't even know if I'm going to say it's better. There's some part that there's a lot of environmental puzzles, and there's some stuff that just makes absolutely no sense. Like one of the things that's actually it's enjoyable part of the game. You boat race around. I assume it's a lazy river because you're not going very fast.
Yeah.
So you race other of the Dantonites, or whatever you want to call them, the Danites. You race those guys on boats for some reason. I don't understand why you do it, but you do.
Yeah.
So
you may not like it, but you do. That's what you do.
Yeah. I just felt so much confusion playing this. It was the land of confusion, like we had talked about in the pre-show. It was all over the place. It didn't feel consistent, and the music, I don't think it really elevated. It kind of maybe stayed the same, and so I was just expecting more, I think, and it just really didn't break.
Well, let me blow your mind. There were also in 2000 and 2001, there was a Croc 1 and Croc 2 for, yes, you guessed it, the Game Boy Color.
Yes.
The Game Boy Color had 2 games. I actually was a little surprised this week how much I liked it.
I will say this. After playing Croc 2, by the way, we didn't talk about the one thing that's weird about it. There's something called OmniPlay, and you can hand a friend a controller, and you both can play and control Croc at the same time, or you can switch stuff off. But
it's effed up. It's effed.
It's effed up.
Yeah.
So anyway, Croc on the Game Boy, like you said, the first one is a side-scrolling platformer, and it's
okay.
right.
It's all right. I liked this one. I mean, everybody was doing platformers, but I thought this looked nice for a Game Boy game. I thought it was kind of weirdly fun. It's a little herky-jerk, but you can see in this video here a little bit. There's a lot of real weird camera movement when you're jumping and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was all right. I came into you know what? It was my expectations were so dirt low for this one. I was sure I was in for a real bad time, and I actually really enjoyed it. It was fun.
Yeah, I did too. It's very colorful. It's a Game Boy Color game, and it carries all the same things that they had a lot of the same things they had in the first one, which is like the balloons that can carry you places. You're still collecting gems. They're a little more simplified. You're still tail whipping Gobbos and unlocking Gobbos and tail whipping Danites.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, most of the stuff is here, and you've got this kind of thing that I hated and loved. And I feel like if I play it long enough, I would probably like it a lot. And that's bonus stages. So you had bonus stages as well. You could unlock in the original Croc, but here you unlock by spelling bonus. You collect the letters to the word bonus. And then at the end of that, you play this slide puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Remember those little slide puzzles?
I hate those.
Picture.
I hate them.
Yeah. You'd have a picture, and then there would be a hole, one spot where you could move pieces in and out, and it's a slide puzzle. And it was annoying, and it took me a few minutes to figure out. I'm like, wait, do I select the piece I want to move? No, wherever the hole is at, you try to fill it with your D-pad.
So people watching at home, I put up an example of a slide puzzle. This isn't in the game, but look at this thing. You'll know what we're talking about because it's like make this fruit puzzle look right, and you do it by sliding. To me, this is one step away from Rubik's Cube, which I also hate. Love it as an icon, love it as an 80s icon, hate it as a game. And the same reason I hate this. I can't stand that kind of game. So that's my biggest beef is those stupid.
I think is it a 9-piece? 9-piece makes me want chicken. I think it's a 9-piece puzzle or something. It's not too overly complicated, but it's timed. I was mad about that. I'm like,
yeah.
And it's kind of generous with the time. I think it's like 2 minutes or something. And it's the same. It's okay. It's okay. I was like with you. I was pleasantly surprised at the Game Boy Color version.
Yeah, it was surprising.
The original Croc.
Now, the second one, Croc 2,
absolutely sucked.
There's some weirdness because they decided to go with this weird top-down Zelda view.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's a lot more like Zelda than you think. You go from screen to screen, the world shifts, you got a map. I mean, they're basically trying to make a Zelda game here.
I thought it was a map at first, and this is what made me mad about this one. It's about everything in here. I love that it's a Zelda-like. I love the character design. It is so freaking cute. It also keeps a lot of the same ideas from Croc 2, except adding Zelda environmental puzzles where you're sliding blocks around and stuff to get to different levels. But the thing that I didn't like is that's not a map, Scott. That little paper thing he's holding in his hand, which I thought was a map that you would slowly reveal. Nope. Yeah. That's just an inventory list.
Yeah.
Of crap you picked up.
Nobody does inventory like that. It's freaking annoying. So getting around is hard. I'll just say it. I hated this. I did not like this. I thought this sucked.
So I will say this. If you get a chance, if you got a little handheld device and you get a chance to play Croc 2, it's fun for about 30 minutes. The later game stuff gets frustrating because
and that is generous.
You realize
30 minutes is
once
generous.
You get 30 minutes, I had fun for like the first 30 minutes. And then when I realized that I wasn't progressing anymore because I couldn't find out where the hell I was at, I was like, okay, now I'm sick of it.
You know what kids love? The kids love a good half hour of entertainment, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's got some really solid gameplay for about 30 minutes. Then you realize, oh, shoot, I don't even know where I'm supposed to go from here. And then you just get frustrated and you just rage quit and say, nope, out.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of Croc. It's a Croc 2.
Yeah. It's all very stupid. But
it's funny. So I didn't like Croc 2 on the console.
Yeah.
And you didn't like Croc 2 on the game.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, I didn't hate it. No, I did. Right. I really hated it. The Game Boy Color one really sucks. The first one, though, is kind of good, but it's also simple. Right. It's just a side scroller. We had a million of those. People are probably tired of those. Like, I don't know if you're not gonna walk away from Croc 2000 GBC and go, ooh, my life has been changed. It's not going to be like that, but it's okay. It's a little side scroller. It's fine.
That was the thing about the Game Boy Color and those side scrolling platformers. I mean, you would just get one, and that's all you'd need because you just whichever character you like the best. They're all kind of meh, but they're fun.
Yeah.
What else are you gonna do with yourself while you're out and about?
What are you gonna do with that half hour?
We didn't have phones. This is the best we could get.
This is what we had.
Best we could get.
This is what we had, and this is what we dealt with. So,
well, it's the year 2000. I guess you could have
There are a few things.
They're not like game phone, right? I mean, when's the Engage come out? That's like.
Well, we didn't get. Oh, geez. PSP is still a few years away from this. 04.
Yeah.
So we get PSP and DS of the same year, same month.
No PSP Croc, by the way. Nope. They decided to go with cell phone games instead.
Also, one freaking little quote unquote analog stick, that little disc on there, that sucked. The Vita was so much better of an analog device. Yeah. I kind of wish I wish Sony would get back into the handheld game. They probably won't, but I wish they would. And I don't mean this.
Oh, yeah.
This thing's nice.
That's bullshit. No, the Wii U version.
This thing is fine. It's good. Yeah. For what it is, this is cool. The Portal we're talking about.
Fine. Yeah.
It's fine.
$200.
It's not what I wanted. What I want is something with this big a screen that actually lets me load games on it and take it places.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Not this tether it to my freaking internet.
And you know what? If they would do that, you could play Croc the Croc remaster because that thing is releasing on everything. PS4, PS5, Microsoft. It's on
Switch. Everything.
Are they going to put it on Steam? I'm not sure. But
it's on Steam.
Nintendo.
I wish listed on Steam, so I know it's there.
Yeah,
it's coming to everything, and it's going to be a little weird just because if you didn't have a PlayStation or a Saturn, how much love for Croc do you have? And then to put it in all these places. It's a big ask. I don't know. Maybe it'll do good. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like I felt like Spyro was a similar thing, but Spyro had a bigger following. So I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah. I wish I had right now.
What's that?
Like a big old bag of Super FX chips.
Oh, man.
Just drop them right. Like.
You know what I wish I had?
What's that?
A chocolate concrete shake.
Oh, I don't know what that is, but it sounds good and heavy on your stomach.
It's so good. And it's heavy. It's thick. Yeah. You ever been? You have Freddy's down there? You got Freddy's in your area?
No Freddy's. Sorry, no Freddy's.
Okay. I don't know what to compare this to. It's just basically just a dense chocolate shake. It's so good.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Why does that sound so good? I can't have that right now.
I don't know.
It'd be bad for me, but I want it.
How would that one-toothed crocodile even think about sucking on that? I don't even know.
Damn straight. Also, somebody hurry up and figure out how to make a really good sugar-free one of these. All right, if you can do Coke Zero, you can do one of these. Get on it.
Yeah.
Science.
Gross.
Science. What are you doing? What important shit are you up to right now? You just had all your funding pulled. Go spend it on this. Do this. The funding you don't have. All right, let's move on. Hey, Brian. Let's play a game of our own making. We have this game we call Guess Our Game. Let's play that. You want to play that?
Yes, let's play this.
I think we should play
this game where I try to guess some sound clip that you got.
Yeah, and I do the same to you.
Destroy it.
Yeah.
It's a game we call Guess Our Game. We play a little audio. The audience always, live audience always says, "Oh, they're talking about Choplifter again," and then we joke and laugh and have a good time, and then we try to guess. Yeah. We just try to guess what it is. So I'm going to play some audio from a game of old. I'll give you the title, the platform and the year, and then 4 possible titles, and you're going to have to guess which one. So I will tell you ahead of the sound. This is a Game Boy original, so don't think color or advance or any of that. Game Boy, black and white, big ass brick Game Boy. And
black and white, you mean green?
I guess more, yeah. But I mean,
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's just monochromatic. How about that?
Monochromatic. There you go.
1996 is the year. And here's your audio. Let's see if you can figure it out. Whoops. Why is it? We'll get to some gameplay here in a sec. This is all just menu. Here we go. Kind of goes on like that.
That's obnoxious.
It is pretty obnoxious.
I love it.
Here are your options from that year. Is it A, Yoshi's Big Idea, B, Kirby Block Ball, C, Tetris Under the Big Top, or D, Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins?
See, that's how you name your games, Croc 2. Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. Now,
that's right.
That is a mouthful. Now, we had talked about that not long ago, and I played it not that long ago, so I don't think it's D, because that doesn't sound anything like that game. Yoshi's Big Idea, I don't know what the crap that is, but I know there's a ton of Yoshi games I've never played. Kirby Block Ball, I played a little bit of that a couple years ago. And C, Tetris Under the Big Top. What the hell is that? I don't know. So I'm going to have to go with, can I be correct with Kirby Block?
Let's find out if you are correct with B. Is he correct? He is correct with B.
Sounds like a Kirby too.
Yeah, Kirby Block Ball is basically Kirby Breakout is what that was. And,
yes, that's it. Yes.
Just a little thing, and you shoot little Kirbys up, and they would bend. I guess you were Kirby shooting a ball. You weren't the ball wasn't Kirby, but you would take out blocks, and then eventually you had bonus blocks and all the stuff you get in the Breakout or Argonaut style game. And then there would be bad guys up top, and you'd have to hit them. And if you killed them, you go back and get the fruit they left for some reason. Like Bubble Bobble style, like the guy would leave a pie, and you'd have to go get that pie. It was all right. It was an okay game. I will admit, this week I made up the following names.
Oh, you did make up some good, because I don't know what the hell Yoshi's
Big Idea I made up.
Yeah.
I want to make a whole
good.
I want to make
That's
a whole fake box for it, because I was happy with it.
I like that. I for some reason I felt like it was an education title, so I thought it was actually
it sounded legit, right?
You fooled me. Yeah, you fooled me.
Tetris Under the Big Top doesn't exist.
That was not real either?
Nope.
Okay.
And then the other two are real.
That also feels real.
I had fun making these up, but the other two, B and D, are definitely real. You were right about Super Mario Brothers.
You ever played Tetris UTBT? I mean, come on,
UTBT.
Everybody.
Yeah, it's the best. Nobody. And if you didn't play Yoshi's Big Idea, you can't even call yourself a gamer. Forget it.
Right. I think didn't that come with the special accessory with the three buttons you pushed? Wasn't that what that was?
Yeah, and you push a little egg out of its butt. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it had like a little Yoshi amiibo, or whatever it was. Yeah,
and a crying baby Mario in the corner going. Wah, wah, wah. All right, well, we did it. Let's get over to yours here. Tell me my year and my platform, if you don't mind.
Hey, I was on the PC in the year 2000, and that's where this audio clip is from.
Ooh, year 2000. Here we go.
Huh?
Oh my gosh.
I think I've had a little too much to drink, because you're starting to look good.
Excuse me?
I need another drink. Madly in bed with you.
Do you expect to get anywhere with that kind of filth?
All right. Give me four
All right.
ideas, please. I need to know who this is.
All right, here comes some, the PC. It's the year 2000, and we had some weird voice work and a lot of people walking on metal frames. So it's A, Resident Evil Survivor, or B, The Operative, No One Lives Forever, or C, Star Trek Voyager, Elite Force, or D, Kiss, Psycho Circus, The Nightmare Child. All these are real games.
There's a lot of colons in that last one.
I didn't make up anything.
Okay. So Voyager Elite Force is a first-person shooter based in the Quake 2 engine. That is not what I just heard. So I'm not going to count that.
Because you got some drunk people in the holodeck? Is that what you think it's not it? Okay.
Something's funky there, and I played that a ton, so it just doesn't feel right. Resident Evil Survivor. I'll come back to that. Operative. The Operative, No One Lives Forever. I mean, No One Lives Forever I played. Oh, no, that would have been... Is this the Bond spinoff? That's that game? Or is that the one from Crytek, which was everyone goes on for some time or something like that? There's a whole other thing.
Goes on for some time.
Kiss, Psycho Circus. There is a guy in there. It sounds a little like Gene Simmons. Let me go back. I want to see if I can hear him again. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
No, not that.
Huh?
I get an orgasm or something.
I need another drink.
Madly in bed with you.
Do you expect to get anywhere with that kind of filth?
Come on, sweetheart. Don't be uptight. I'll take good care of you.
I don't know.
Sure, it's not Star Trek. You heard that? Bloop.
Oh, man. I'm torn on this. I'm going to go either D or I'm going to go B. I heard like a Russian accent part of it, which makes me think The Operative, No One Lives Forever feels like something a Russian might be in. All right. I'm going to go with my gut and say that it's B, The Operative, No One Lives Forever.
You want to go B? You don't want the D. All right.
D.
Well, you know what? B was the right answer.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Ooh. What was that? So is it a James Bond thing or what?
No, it was a James Bond type thing, but it was not James Bond.
What did the chat say?
A little bit
Fastidious
everything.
said,
Duzex.
he said Gene Simmons also. That's funny.
Yeah.
Chris Play. What's the big idea, Yoshi? You make me want to make a fake game cover thing. We should make this a Patreon deal. I'm not going to do it, but let's say we did. And check this out. This is what I would put on the front. If I can find it. Let's see. Yeah, I would use this art somehow. And this would be part of Yoshi's big idea. Or, hey, Yoshi, what's the big idea? I would have him poop
Oh, I
his egg
love
out.
it. He's just crapping out some Yoshi shells.
Yep,
I love it.
taking a dump, dropping eggs.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. You got to, I think it's his big idea. I think he should be straining a little bit more though. But yeah, I think you're right.
I did that a long time ago, and I was worried that Nintendo was going to get mad at me.
Oh yeah.
Because, he's sort of naked there. And
how could they? Yeah, well, I mean, he's
not naked.
Definitely got. I mean, you're not puckered up or nothing. It's not like a Mike and Spike cartoons. I mean, or Spike and Mike cartoon.
I did this one too. Now,
Nice.
Can you tell what the big problem here is? There's one major problem.
Is it farmer? Is his plumber tan?
Well, it is.
Tan?
It's got a problem because if his feet are tanned, that would imply he doesn't wear shoes, and that doesn't fit.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
So that's
What's
no
his
good.
tan on the bottom? You got no the skin color on the bottom of the foot, right?
Yeah.
Pads,
Plus,
right?
he basically has two right feet because this toe is.
But that's
definitely
fine.
faming.
Well, that's I'm not even judging right now.
Yeah.
I was too busy trying to make sure that I couldn't see a little
Doodle.
Mario doodle.
a little. Let's see. I did one for Luigi as well. Let's see. What did I do there? It's fine.
Luigi.
Luigi. I think I didn't maybe go as. Oh no! You know what? I kind of did go. Oh yeah, I made him kind of S&M Luigi. Here, check this out.
S&M Luigi.
I say that with like very
Super Mario Luigi. Is that what you're trying to say?
there he is. See?
I love it.
His nipples
I
he's
love
got
it.
pins on his
Why
nipples.
Why is his skin the same pale color as his underoos? I love it.
I was afraid Nintendo was going to come after me for this, but
Oh yeah, good reason.
They
yeah,
didn't.
I mean, it's parody for sure, right?
Oh, yeah.
Unless Nintendo wants to admit something.
unless
about Luigi.
I mean it's parody until they get to be jerky about it, and then Nintendo doesn't care. They'll sue you for looking at them.
They don't have to actually win. They just got to like run you out of business. That's all they got to do.
I think I did a Waluigi. Let's see,
they got to give the lawyers something to do.
Here's a Waluigi. Put him in a diaper.
Oh, that's nice. That's that's one of those cloth diapers with pins.
Yeah, it's got pins. It's got a Band-Aid on. He's got a
Band-Aid on his. He's got random patchy hair, just like I would expect from Waluigi.
Oh yeah, he's covered in that, just absolutely covered in it. It's got that weird.
At least
little.
Not to draw his feet. That's good.
Put him in those bad shoes.
Put him in those bad shoes.
These were fun to make.
By the way,
I should make.
Those
more.
are great.
Yeah.
I love those. Where can people find those at?
Nowhere. Right here.
Well, yeah, you're too chicken. I got you.
Oh yeah, I don't want to get sued, man. But I will once in a while print them for like bonus stuff for people or whatever. But hey, you want to see these? Watch our video version of today's show, and you'll see them.
There you go. By the way, both Fox. I went down a Fox Interactive hole. That's how I got to the operative.
Fox Interactive hole. Okay. Tell me more.
So the Croc was a Fox Interactive. Totally forgot about their little intro logo thing that they had for a while. They published the operative as well. No One Lives Forever.
You know what? I am going to play that. Hold on. I want you to hear it. Want to hear the intro? Oh, that's the Game Boy game. Hold on. Here we go. The juice. Here's the juice. Everybody, get ready for the juice. Whoops. Let's get some volume on here. Okay. Here it is back here. No, come on.
Roll back.
Here we go.
Hey.
Look at that.
There it is. Fox Interactive. Then Argonaut.
Yep. Logos.
JSON. Get it?
JSON and his Argonauts.
Brilliant. But he brought, Argonaut Games came back. I think they, shuttered in 2004 or 2007, something like that. They had financial problems. And then JSON came back and said, how about in 2024, we come back and publish a game?
I am JSON.
Studio's returning.
We come back with JSON.
JSON and the Argonauts.
The Argonauts.
Welcome to the treasure room.
Time for some listener feedback. We got a bunch of ways to contact us at frogpants.com/playretro. In particular, voicecast.app/playretro will get you right to us with either voicemails or text. And we'll start with a voicemail about an NES game I'll admit I never heard of. So we're going to let him explain.
Oh.
Here you go.
Hey guys, this is Format. Hey, have you done Solstice? That was a NES old school kind of what's that called? Isometric, weird third person view thing. But that was a fun game.
Solstice on the NES. That guy's name was Format. It was a great name, by the way.
Oh, I was gonna say, is it Format or Floormat? Either way is a great name. I love it.
I'm pretty sure. This is it here. So it's called Solstice.
I never played this one. Yeah.
Oh, I know this game. This is some people love this. This is a game that I didn't play back then, but it was like hugely influential.
Crazy,
people are into it.
Crazy Castle or whatever, but more
kind of. It was like
adventure.
It's puzzly and I don't know. Like I feel like some of the puzzle rooms were complicated and hard, and I had friends who really liked this. I can't remember playing
this.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this other than what I'm looking at right now. It looks freaking amazing.
It's pretty cool. Solstice is the game. NES, I should say. Might be worth checking out later on an episode. Who knows?
Yeah, agreed.
We'll find out.
Back to the NES. Maybe that's the one.
Maybe that's the one.
Thank you, Format.
Thanks, Format. We also got a text on the self-same line. This is from somebody who did not leave their name, but it says, I was listening to episode 110, Advance Wars, and you brought up some of the other games like it, including Famicom Wars. I never had an opportunity to try that, but my father and I used to play Desert Commando, released in 1989, together all the time. It looks so similar. Listening to this show brought back fond memories of my dad, and I appreciate you guys and the entertainment you bring every episode. Thank you for the shows. You put it all together. I listen to Core, TMS, and Play Retro as regularly as I can. Well, we're happy to have you. I don't know about Desert Commando. Do you? Have you heard of that?
I do not know that, but I am super excited because it fits me as well. Playing video games with your dad or your son or your kids in general is just an amazing bonding experience.
Yeah,
and I love it. Was it? Did you say it was an NES game?
Let's see. He said, where did the notes go?
Also
released in '89, so that would have been probably NES, right? I would assume.
Yeah, nice. So I'm looking at it now, I believe. And totally can see it. Yep. Good
Oh,
call.
here we go.
A Kimco.
Oh, wow. This looks wild. Oh, you know what it reminds me of? It's like, yeah, you know what?
It's like Advance Wars?
It's a little like Advance Wars. Holy shit. I didn't expect it to look just like
right,
it.
Exactly.
Look at that. That's Advance Wars.
A lot like Advance Wars. Yeah.
8-bit Advance Wars. I didn't know that existed. Jeez.
I didn't either.
Oh,
That's pretty cool.
That's actually very cool. Thanks for sharing that with us. That's awesome. I wish we would have known about that when we brought it up on the previous hoo-ha.
Yeah, man, we got some NES and Famicom games to play, right? We got to go back.
Yeah, hell yeah. We also got to talk about our next game. We're going to talk about Marvel.
wait.
Oh, what?
Wait, before we do that, we didn't mention who came to Retro this week.
Oh, shit. I didn't do that yet, did I? All right, here you go.
Yeah.
Let's do that right now. How come I keep missing that?
I don't know.
I don't know why I do that.
I need to highlight it bigger.
Lego Star Wars, the video game, PS2, Xbox, GameCube, March 29th, 2005. Yeah, that's right. 20 years now.
You're old. You're old. Welcome in, Lego Star Wars, the video game.
Yeah. Their newest one's real good, by the way. I don't know if you played it, but fantastic game. Anyway, that thing launched so many more of these. There are a million Lego games that all started with this one, and we welcome it with open arms.
I played so much of this.
Oh, yeah. Me too, dude. I love that game. It's so good.
Yeah.
Picking up all those pieces.
Yep.
That's what
so
you did.
Satisfying.
Yeah.
What an
great
addictive loop it was.
As a Lego fan and as a Star Wars fan, this thing was a special little unit deal handed right to us.
Special unit deal.
All right, now we're going to talk about what we're talking about next, which is Marvel Quest Probe games. Now, you may not remember what these were, but it was a trilogy of text adventure games that featured, you guessed it, Marvel characters from the comics. And it was developed and published by Adventure International, which is an amazing name for anybody to call themselves that.
Yeah.
Anyway, they featured the Hulk, they had Spider-Man, and they had the Human Torch. Also, the Thing was with the Human Torch, right? They weren't their separate names.
It was like half of the four. So the Fantastic Two or the Terrific Two.
Terrific Two. I like that.
Terrific Two.
T2.
This is going to be a really interesting story. I played. Hulk was like the first floppy game I got for my Commodore 64. And I played the crap out of that. And I also ended up picking up the comics. There was comics released alongside these games. Each one of them had, just like it says, Hulk, Spider-Man, and then Human Torch and the Thing. And there's a theme that runs through them. Text adventures. I got to see my Marvel comics come to life in still pictures on my Commodore 64. And oh boy, nostalgia's hit me hard.
Yeah, I'd never played these, so this is going to be a learning experience for me. These are not ones I'm familiar with, so I'm excited to get down to them. I didn't know they even happened. So we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, and we're about to see this new Fantastic Four, and that's what got me to look. And I was like, hey, did they ever have a good Fantastic Four game within the retro years? And then I remembered this, and I was like, well, there's half the four there, so let's go there.
Yeah, also a quick note, comicbook.com put up a post about this retro 64 game, Commodore 64 game, I should say.
Yeah,
coming
soon.
It's a whole collection featuring comics made by Marvel and DC veterans. So a bunch of rad art in there. I kind of want to see this.
Yeah.
Following 10 games are confirmed: Forbidden Planet, Beyond the Forbidden Forest, Forbidden Forest and Beyond the Forbidden Forest, Aztec Challenge, Caverns of Kafka, Seal, Delta Man. Oh, Delta Man. Chomp, Chernobyl, Nuclear Power Plant Simulation. That doesn't go well. Spite and Malice, and Navcom 6, the Persian Gulf Defense. Anyway, something to maybe go check out. So go to comicbook.com to check that out.
I'm going to try to check out that as well as I'm going to do a whole comic book next thing. I just can't wait. I got the comic books on the way too. The Quest Probe comics are coming.
Brian's getting probed. He's getting probed.
Yeah, I'm getting probed.
By the Hulk. The Hulk's probing him. That's better than the Human Torch probing you, honestly.
Yeah. What's he saying that one thing? I think you have to keep telling the Hulk dig. That's exactly what he's doing.
Keep digging, and he says, Hulk dig. And then the Human Torch says, flame on, and then shoves a hot finger in your hooter. Anyway, patreon.com/playretros. Hey, support us. We got a brand new patron this week named Balooey. Not like Bluey, like character Bluey, but like Balooey.
No.
B.A.
Like almost like the bear, right, from the Jungle Book.
Oh, like Baloo.
Not quite.
Yeah, I like that.
with the emphasis on the Louis part.
Wasn't Baloo basically the exact same voice actor and character from Little John from the what's that called? The Robin Hood cartoon? Wasn't that the same
Robin Hood
guy?
Cartoon. Boy, that feels right.
It may as well be.
But I may be misremembering it. But it sure feels right.
Sure feels right to me too. Anyway, patreon.com/playretro for all your needs over there. Don't forget, you can find all the ways to contact us, follow us, and do all those fun things at frogpants.com/playretro. Brian, anything you want to tip us off here at the end with before we cut out?
Yeah, if you're in the market for a Sega Saturn, there's a lot of them on eBay and they're super cheap. And if you know about imports and stuff, let me know because I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
it's scary. It's scary to think that I'll order something, it'll arrive stateside, and then it'll sit in customs because customs says you owe us an additional X dollars.
Yeah, and Brian's on the teat here. He needs his fix.
Yeah.
So help him out. Help a fellow addict out. It's going to do it for us. Please play something retro between now and next time we see you. And we'll see you then.
In the menu of life, make your main entree frogpants.com. It's delicious. Delicious.
There's a new adventure hero in games.